The second stop on the Extreme and Lakefront Tour will be on the north side of Chicago, just north of the Breakwall and south of North Avenue Beach. There, the Deckhand will talk for 3 to 5 minutes about the prominent buildings and landmarks in the area. Deckhand should use this video as a tool to develop their tour. However, they are encouraged to add their own facts and appropriate jokes into their tour to make it unique. The best narrations are achieved by deckhands that actively study from the Sea Dog narration handbooks and research facts from other books, websites, and tours.
We are near the north side of Chicago. There's a couple great things going on up here. Cubs fans. Yes, me too. I don't know why we are, but we are, right? Yes, the Cubs are located up on the north side of Chicago in Wrigley Field, which is about 2 miles inland. It's probably about 5 miles away from where we are right now.
When I say that the greatest tragedy in Chicago happened on the north side of Chicago, what am I talking about? The Chicago Cubs, that's right. You're a Cubs fan? From the south side. Traitor to our name. That's okay. It's okay. You can actually see our 4 tallest buildings right here. The first one is Sears Tower, which we talked about on the south side. The second one is this silver building with the one spire at the top of it. That is Trump Tower, our second tallest building here in Chicago. The third, very close behind, is the Aon Center. That gray rectangular building with the long vertical lines going down it is our third tallest building. And our fourth is the John Hancock Center right here on the north side of Chicago.
That is the John Hancock Center. That is our 4th tallest building in the city. And that is the tallest building in the entire world that is essentially an insect, meaning its skeleton is on the outside instead of on the inside. Those X's actually serve as the building's support structure, which is weird because X's usually aren't that supportive. See? Those X's are each 18 stories tall, and it does support the building from the outside in. And because it's supported that way, like many of the other tall buildings in the city of Chicago, it does sway in the Chicago wind, up to about 4 feet in any direction. Pretty fantastic. If you want a truly hair-raising experience, go to the 94th floor observatory and you can tilt, which means you get put into essentially a roller coaster harness on the side of the building and tilted out about 30 degrees from the side of the building in a cage. No plexiglass, a cage. It's pretty fantastic. So go check that out if you can. Or if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can go up to the 96th floor to the signature room, buy yourself the signature martini, which is $95. And if you are a woman, I highly encourage you to go use the restroom because it is boasted that the women's restroom on the 96th floor has the best view of the city, in the city, anywhere. I'm not allowed to talk to you about why I know this, just know that it is a fact. A little bit further south, you can see our second tallest building is the giant blue hypodermic needle looking building popping up in the middle of the city. That is the Trump International Hotel and Tower, named and built after the man who has the hair that stays right there, Mr. Donald Trump. And there's a couple cool things going on with that building. There's over 27 miles of chrome detailing the outside of that building. It is built on top of a leftover nuclear fallout shelter from the Cold War, per Donald Trump's request. He's a bit of a paranoid individual, and he wanted to make sure he had a nuclear fallout shelter conveniently located directly below his building. And it has some of the strongest concrete in the entire world. It can withstand 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. It is the largest building in the world made entirely out of poured concrete. It stands at just over 1,300 feet tall. Chicago is home to about 30 miles of lakefront trail. Chicago is one of the few cities in the world who tried very, very hard to preserve our lakefront, to keep it free and open to the public, which is why you will only see one residential building east of Lakeshore Drive located on the lakefront. The rest of it is all parks and bike path. We've got about 30 miles of bike path. We've got about 25 public beaches located within our city limits, the largest of which is directly in front of us. That is North Avenue Beach. That is a really awesome beach to check out when it's a little bit warmer. Between Memorial Day and Labor Day, they have volleyball nets set up. They have about 16 to 20 of them set up on any given day. You can go play volleyball completely for free. You just have to bring your own friends and your own volleyball, so that's pretty spectacular. Over here, you guys, you'll see one residential building that is
to the east of Lakeshore Drive, our most trafficked street. And that is Lake Point Tower, that black building with the 3 big waves on the outside of it, right at the end of Navy Pier. It is the only residential building east of Lakeshore Drive. All right, and because of that, we call it the only illegal building here in Chicago. All right, now, how they got away with building residentially east of Lakeshore Drive with that building at the end of Navy Pier right there is that they actually built that building on a public parking garage on pillars east of Lakeshore Drive, so it's not technically on the ground east of Lakeshore Drive. All right, now also when you guys look out, you'll see that structure out on the water. Does anybody know what that structure out on the water is? No, it is one of our water cribs. That's where we pull our drinking water from here in the city of Chicago. We have a couple other structures out in the water as well, where we pull all of our drinking water from and send right into the Jardine Water Purification Center right next to Navy Pier.
At some point, the captain will signal to the deckhand that they are ready to speed up again. At this point, the deckhand should incite the passengers for one final speedboat ride. Encourage the passengers to yell, scream, and bark. Ruff!
On the count of 3, one big cheer. Ready? 1, 2, 3.